All right, I need Ian Book tonight, Connor, to utterly take a shit in the middle of the field. That's what I need.
What's going on, folks? This is Monkey Knife Fight Show for Monday Night Football. That's Joe Dolan. I'm Connor Rowntree. And we've got a fun one tonight. Maybe not the most exciting game, if you will. But, Joe, Ian Book is starting, baby. Notre Dame's finest. Actually, give me 1 second. Just because of that, I actually have this here. Been waiting to do this for a while. Here we go. Boom, baby.
All right, I need Ian Book tonight, Connor, to utterly take a shit in the middle of the field. That's what I need. That's what I need to happen. I need 10 points from the Dolphin defense tonight. They have gone over that in 4 of their last 5 games. Oh boy, it's going to be something. I have no idea what to expect because, you know, I was looking back at our draft grade on fantasypoints.com. Our guy Greg Costell doesn't really do grades, but he does evaluations. And reading his scouting report of Ian Book, he did not have a draftable grade on Ian Book. But there have been some crazy things that have happened this fantasy season, so I don't know what the hell to expect. I don't know, Connor, if you're one of those guys who goes online and watches car crashes. If that's your idea of fun, then maybe this game's for you.
Yeah, there's the occasional, sometimes the bets follow the car crash kind of let's say storyline, and it's always fun to lighten things up and be like, it could be worse, and watch just a 2x4 or just a tractor trailer ram into a wall. Classic Terminator 2 style, off a bridge and into a ravine or whatever those things are called in Los Angeles. I have been to LA now, so that was fun. But you got Ian Book, man, 177.5 yards. That's the line, Joe. Does he take up that big of a poop that he doesn't get to 200?
Yeah, I'm going to say he does.
Yeah,
I'm going to say he does. And this is all from Dolan, from the bottom of his heart, looking for some goodwill here from Ian Book. But I mean, I don't know how I can say more than this. I don't know how I can do it.
No, I think out of the backfield, Kamara may be able to get him half these yards. But outside of that, Michael Thomas isn't playing. They don't really have, I guess Marcus Callaway's been a nice bright spot. A lot of people were high on him on fantasy. I actually think that he's underperformed this season, but obviously had a big showing last week. So he's got some targets, but it's not a ideal situation to be walking into. Let's just put it that way for Ian Book. He literally is their last option. They called Drew Brees and asked Drew Brees if he wanted to play. Drew Brees literally said on air yesterday that, yeah, that happened.
Yeah. Well, that tells you exactly.
That tells you how much confidence they have in Ian Book. We could do the Notre Dame fight song all day.
I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know the Purdue fight song. I don't. I know I grew up a Notre Dame fan, so I mean.
Let's go.
Not anymore, man. I had that whitewashed from me. My wife would disown me.
My uncle.
I've never been to Notre Dame Stadium, by the way, which is.
I've been thrice. There we go. We use that word back-to-back shows.
Isn't that an emo band?
Maybe, but it means twice, but 3 times.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They are an emo band.
They are an emo band. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think they had a song in like Madden 02 or something.
Wow.
Anyway, that might be before your time, Connor. You didn't even know what Tecmo Super Bowl was.
02, I was like a Rugrat 7. Of course I knew what Madden was in 02. You're talking 1991. Like, I wasn't even itching my dad's ball sack in 1991.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
I'm sorry, man. But anyway,
Joe Dolan.
I don't know how much more confident I would be in this game with the Dolphins defense if it was Drew Brees off the broadcast booth or Ian Book. I think I might rather face Book.
Oh, man.
I need a pick 6 in the worst way.
I mean, well, let's look at Tua on the other side of the football, 229.5 passing yards. Can he get to 230 against this Saints defense? I'm going to say no. I get that he's been going off in the Tua anthem that Jason mentioned going in, but the Saints they got a pretty good defense. Cam Jordan looked real good last week, so I'm gonna take the less on this line, and also I'm gonna bounce something off you. They have a tight end down there that's pretty good in Gesicki.
Yeah, Gesicki.
Yeah, I have an 7.5 point fantasy cushion to move on to my finals to win $1,000. The guy that finished 8th place this season somehow made it to the finals. So it's like, if I make it through this week, I win.
All right.
Is there any hope in hell that he blows his knee out tonight? Or
I mean,
not that I ever want anyone getting hurt.
That's bad karma, man. You don't want to hope for that. You just want to hope.
Not that I want anyone getting hurt, but is there any chance that there's like a lingering injury or anything like that? That's what I.
Well, Gesicki
gets off the field.
There's been his production has been kind of up and down here, man. I mean, he's at what? He hasn't. Well, is it PPR?
Oh yeah, half reception, half point.
Oh, ooh, half PPR gives you a shot. Let me tell you here on Gesicki, okay? Last week, 7.8 in a half PPR. Okay, that would get you the win. The week before that, let's see here, 3.5. That would have been 3.5 plus 4.6 is 8.1. So that would have gotten you a loss. Before that, 3.2. Before that, 7.5. Before that, a big fat goose egg. Before that, 7.4. Before that, we're looking at 6.3. So in Mike Gesicki's last 7 games, he has gone over 8 fantasy points and a half PPR once. I think that's probably music to your ears, Connor. No, actually, Mike Gesicki went to Penn State, which is fun.
I was just music to my ears, though. You know, I was just so happy that you did that. All right, well, let's talk about this. Tua going to find them enough to reach 230 yards, as I said before. What's your opinion on that, Joe? I'm taking less.
Oh, well, so you have Jalen Waddle should be back from COVID list. Is back from COVID list. Devontae Parker, presumably as the top outside receiver, will draw a shadow from Marshawn Lattimore, which is an awful matchup for anybody this year. So that's a tough matchup for him. Waddle's been catching a ton of passes, but hasn't been gaining a lot of yardage. Gesicki, as we've just said, has not been great. I think I'll lean to the less here. I'm just hoping, because I think Miami's defense is going to take this game over. I think their run game is going to, well, they literally just had their best game by a running back in years, and it was Duke Johnson off the practice squad. So I wonder if they'll give Duke Johnson some work here. Tough matchup against the Saints, potential to be ugly. Let's go less and less on the quarterback props.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that one. And you know what? Let's hopefully Book reads us all a nice bedtime story tonight. We got something to talk about for the next week to come. Jalen Waddle, though, you mentioned his name, and Devontae Parker. So Waddle's coming in at 64.5 receiving yards, Joe. I feel like that's a sweet spot for him. That's that's a good line placement. He's been up and down all around.
Very good line placement.
That's a cheeky line placement. And then Devontae Parker at 50.5. I'm actually kind of inclined to take the more on that, because I actually feel like Jalen Waddle might draw Lattimore just based off of recency bias.
Yeah, well, Lattimore doesn't go into the slot a whole lot, which is where Waddle goes. I am going to say more on Waddle, less on Parker.
Yeah, you just think that Lattimore is going to lock down Parker on the outside, and Waddle is going to be able to slice and dice in that slot position. That makes total sense, but I'm just not comfortable with that Waddle line being that high, so I'm going to have to take the less. And who knows? Maybe Parker comes back and makes something happen. So I'll come back to you on that one there, Mr. Joe Dolan. Yeah. And then Myles Gaskin, 35.5 rush yards. I wish he did have Myles Gaskin and not Gesicki.
Yeah, I'd feel better about it with Gaskin than I do with. Now, here's my thing with Gaskin. The Saints' run defense is tough, okay? Now, Gaskin has gone over 35.5 rushing yards in 4 consecutive games. But last week, Duke Johnson, don't you think Duke Johnson has kind of earned more work? Like, Gaskin's never run for 100 yards. This one is super tough because he's gone over this, and he even did it against the Jets when Duke Johnson went over 100 yards. But the Jets is a different matchup than the Saints. I would say less on Gaskin here. I don't feel great about it because, I mean, I think we're just going to all sit here, Connor, and say, oh, well, they have to go with Duke Johnson. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with that. I think Duke Johnson is going to be the lead guy, but if Duke Johnson comes out and struggles against a good run defense, could they end up then deciding, you know what, we're going to put Gaskin in there and see what he does. So this one I'm a little leery on, but I think I'm going to say less.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to lean towards the less as well. You saw that emotional performance from Duke Johnson, him on Twitter afterwards. He's been around the league for a while, and that was his first ever 100-yard rush game. And he was so happy he did it in Miami, did it in his home state of Florida. So I just feel like it's going to be hard to take the ball away from him. So I have to take the less out of just game script and necessity because of Duke Johnson, as you said. Obviously, Mike Brown is still banged up. He's been hurt all season, so you don't have to worry about him back there. So, but Duke Johnson coming in and taking over that backfield is been a real it's a real possibility tonight on Monday Night Football. Now, Alvin Kamara on the other side, 70.5 rushing yards.
Oof.
Man.
Now, here's what I feel like is going to happen. The Dolphins are already one of the 2 blitz heaviest teams in the entire NFL. They are going to blitz the ever-loving crap out of the in-book tonight. Now, blitzes, I always love when somebody says, oh, it's a run blitz. Well, it would have been a pass blitz if it was a passing play. You ever notice that? Oh, they came with the run blitz. Well, yeah, it's a run blitz because they decided to run the ball in that play. I'm going to say less. Look at this. What's the line?
The line for it's
Kamara.
70.5.
51, 61, 50, 120, 18, his last 5 games. Once over that number. I'm going to say less because we know Alvin Kamara can do it with the passing game. I have to imagine checkdowns are going to be a huge part of Ian Book's strategy, and that will involve Kamara. Now, the question is, if Ian Book starts to crap it up, are they going to put Kamara in the Wildcat? Like, he's like the emergency quarterback. So I don't know how much that changes things, but this could potentially get ugly. It's tough for me to take more on the Saints in this game.
Yeah, it really is, unless Kamara had a receiving line, because Book, I feel, would use him as a crutch tonight. But his reception line, 4.5 receptions, I like the more on that from Alvin Kamara.
I do too. That I like more. But I mean, yeah, it's certainly an interesting game. I mean, we're just spitballing here because I don't know what Ian Book's going to look like. I mean, I didn't think this was a guy who was anything more than like a 7th round draft pick. They took him in the 4th, so they clearly like him. I think it's just an unbelievably bizarre situation here on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, well, he seems ready for it. I follow him on the Instagram over on the gram. He seems fired up, so it should be fun. I mean, at all else. But let's talk about one more line here. 18.5 fantasy points. Alvin Kamara, can he really carry this Saints team? Because 18.5 fantasy points, I feel like if he goes for more than that, the Saints are going to win this game, riding Alvin Kamara's coattails and their defense. If he goes for less than 18.5 fantasy points, it's because the Saints are going to lose. This one kind of feels like this is a very reliant on your projected game script to see where you're going to lie with Alvin Kamara in this. I
feel like this is a less.
Yeah,
I just don't. I think this is and look, Connor, I've got him here. Here's what I've got. I'm in another league. I'm in a dynasty league. I need 40 points essentially from Kamara, Jalen Waddle, and Mike Gesicki. I don't think I'm going to get it. I really don't.
Well, I hope you get 0 from Gesicki.
No, you do.
I hope Kamara shows up for you. But remember, on the monkey knife fight side of things, though, which makes this very interesting, if we both have him projected for over 4.5 receptions, so that's at least 5 points right there. If anyone's going to score a touchdown tonight, and I don't think the Dolphins defense is, well, they do blitz a lot, as you said. I think if Book finds any sort of a rhythm and blitz beater packages, they're going to score, and I think it's going to be Kamara. So right there, that's 11 points without receiving yards, without any rush. I think I'll take the 19 points on Alvin Kamara. I will take the more on this. He is their offense at this point.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know how you could in any way expect to see what they're going to be able to do with Ian Book at quarterback, but you figure Ian Book is at least capable enough to check the ball down, right? And Kamara is going to be their guy there. The question now is, but they've been working in Mark Ingram liberally. So, like, is Ingram going to have a big role? That's part of my problem with Kamara.
Yeah, well, Ingram, I think your tweets last week were spot on. Ingram, 10 rush attempts, 0.1 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately rushing a yard per attempt. One last thing that we have to talk about before we get out of here is TuAnon. they just posted something like anonymous. Jason put it in our chat here, Joe, if you want to take a look at it. And they literally just posted a anonymous style video with a guy wearing a dolphin heads, just being like, expect us. We are TuAnon.
I've never seen this account before, believe it or not.
Neither have I, but I'm not going to be following. Actually, I don't want to be a part of this, but 4,000 people are. So I might just keep my ear to the ground on that. That's pretty funny. I think Tua could have a really rude night, folks. So TuAnon might be canning it. Might be canned TuAnon before tomorrow morning. Joe, predictions on this game tonight.
By the way, did you guys know I got the score exactly right from Thursday night again?
Yeah, I did. I was waiting for you to come back at it.
Joe, what's your prediction for Thursday night football? We got a pretty fun game.
I think the Titans might win a close one, 20-17. I think they'll ugly it up enough. I'm going to say,
isn't that twice in the last 2 weeks? So
yes, that is.
So for a total of 4 shows. So you're 50% on. So folks, any over/under listeners, anyone that wants to play some score props, listen now.
Dolphins 17, Saints 10.
That would do wonders for the under. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm also riding with the under. I have I actually like a 14-13 game for the Saints. I don't see they've had a boatload of field goal kickers come in and go this season after Lutz went down. I just think go for it on 4th down, try to win a football game. You got nothing to lose. And Miami, I know it's in Miami, but I'm not sold on. Maybe this TuAnon thing is just making me a hater, and maybe it's because I'm playing Gesicki. So maybe it's just like that natural, my core.
Well, you want the under, man, if you're playing Gesicki.
Oh yeah, no, the under I think is the play here either way with Ian Book. But then again, yesterday I could have told you the under in the snow with Nick Foles in Seattle was probably the safest bet of the day, and look what happened.
It did not happen. Don't mess with Nick Foles.
Yeah. You're from Philly, you know why. BDN, baby, Big Dick Nick. You don't mess with Big Dick Nick in those clutch games. In January, he's great. It's the rest of the season or at post-Christmas break. He's awesome.
Well, actually, yeah, post-Christmas, because I remember the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Foles played on Christmas Day and was atrocious. And then history happened. So it must be just after Christmas for Nick Foles. That's it. You figured it out.
And as they say, that's all she wrote, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Connor Rowntree. That's Fantasy Point's very own Joe Dolan. Joe, thank you so much. We'll see you again for some Thursday night football. And we get an extra week this year, so I will actually get to see you again for Monday night football next week.
Yeah. You will see me again for Monday night football, but there's no Thursday night game this week, Connor.
No Thursday game this week, boys. So no slander.
We're back to traditional NFL. Traditional NFL. No Thursday games, just Sunday this week.
Yeah, we're running out of time on this extended season. It's kind of crazy that the regular season is going to extend like legitimately into January. Hey, gives us an extra week of football for Super Bowl. One more week of drinking to like really push it back. And then like dry March or whatever outside of St. Patrick's Day. Folks, Connor Rowntree, Joe Dolan, thank you so much for tuning in. Monkey Night Fight Show for Monday Night Football. Remember to hit it hard.